Okay, here we go. So if you have something that can work like a blanket, that would be great. We're not going to need it right away, but later on, we're going to do a little squatting. And let me just show you why the blanket is important. When you squat all the way down, and we will not do it all at once the way I'm doing it now. You want the ball of your feet off the blanket and the rest of your foot on the blanket. So when you come down, it's as if your feet are flat on the floor. Otherwise, it'll be difficult, especially when I ask you to put your feet together. It's more difficult. Some of you may be able to do it without the blanket, but I recommend using the blanket. So, let's settle in. And this is the week of the autumnal equinox. I've been talking about that. And of course, equinox means that the daylight and the nighttime is equal, equinox. So it's about balance, but it's also about change. Everything around us is changing, right? The leaves, the weather. We're coming into a season of change, elections, everything. There's all kinds of great change, wonderful change, and that's the change we're going to look at right now. And in our practice, we just by doing yoga, our body changes. Every time we breathe, we're changing our body. So let's keep that in mind as you come inside. Close your eyes and begin to notice your breath. And then start to deepen your breath. And think about how with each breath, you're breathing in air, your lungs are sending the oxygen down your blood vessels throughout your body to nourish every cell in your body, changing your body every time you breathe. And think about how on your exhale, you release all those toxins, all the things you don't need, the carbon dioxide, the things that your body cannot use, the things that get in the way of change, of renewal. So we're going to think of change as renewal today. So keep your inhales deep and your exhales long and slow. Return to your natural breath. And slowly open your eyes. Let's begin with a lateral stretch over to the left. Your right arm alongside your right ear. You're bending your left elbow to send your shoulder away from your ear. Your head is in line with your neck spine. Inhale, and then on an exhale, place your right arm forward of your left knee, parallel arms. Inhale, exhale, bring your hands to your knee, turn to twist, looking over your left shoulder. Remember to lengthen on the inhale and twist when you're empty of breath. You're going to bring both arms up to center. Come back with both arms looking forward. You're going to send your right arm down, left arm stretch. Big long stretch. Keep your shoulder down, away from your ear. Inhale, exhale your left hand forward of your knee, parallel arms. And breathe. On an inhale, slide your hands to your knee, twist to look over your right shoulder. Lengthening and twisting. Inhale, both arms up alongside your ear and back to center. Bring your arms down by your side, interlace your fingers for Yoga Mudra, bring your knuckles to the earth and send your heart up to the sky. Release the clasp of your hands and come onto your palms, your fingers pointing forward, your heart reaching up to the sky, your nose looking upward on a diagonal. So you don't want your head to go all the way back. But we're going to do our dragon's breath, and I can do that since there's nobody in class here. Except for Bill. He's used to my breath, so that's okay. So inhale through the nose, ha, through the mouth, ha, ha, ha. Once more, ha, and then push off your fingers and come forward over your legs. Forward fold. And then slowly unfold. Come back up to sit. And we're going to come to our child's pose. So first, let your arms just be hanging loosely. You can have them wrapped around your legs, or you could be on your forearms, whatever is most comfortable, but no effort. You just want your arms to hang loosely wherever they are. And breathe. Allow yourself to look inside in this pose. Send your arms forward overhead onto the mat. And you're looking down at the mat. Then look up in between your hands. Lift your hips, send your heart between your arms, lengthen your legs back behind you. Inhale and then exhale, send your hips to your heels, and we do this all the time, so you know what's next. We're going to go back and forth a few times. Exhale, hips go back. Inhale, heart comes forward. Turn under your toes, down dog. So get aligned in your dog. You know, you're pushing the mat away with your hands. Your heels are coming towards the mat. Your chest towards your thighs. And begin to walk your dog. Pedaling in place. And then bring both heels equal. So we know that yoga is very much about balance, right? One side and the other side. Right. And come forward to a plank pose. Take a couple of breaths. Bring your left knee underneath your left hip. Swivel your right foot on the mat and fan open. Send your right arm alongside your right ear, your right foot in the opposite direction. Again, that beautiful side body stretch from toe tips to fingertips. And push into the arm that's supporting you on the mat and open up your heart, as if your heart were reaching for the sky. And then bring it down. Bring your arm down. Turn under your toes, downward facing dog. Bring your right knee. Oh, let's come to plank first. Come to plank first. Yeah. Then place your right knee down on the mat. Swivel your left foot, fan open. And then send your left arm alongside your left ear, toes going one way, fingers the other. Press into the mat to open up your heart. Bring your hand down, bring your knee down. Send your hips to your heels. Look between your hands once again. And this time, come up onto your right fingertips. Thread your left arm under your right and look under your right arm. Maybe you can bring your left shoulder to the mat, maybe not. You might have to lift your hips a little to do that. Or you can leave it hovering a little bit. Unthread your left arm, flatten your right hand, parallel arms. You're looking forward. On your fingertips, right arm under left, walk your fingers away, look under your left arm. Unthread your arm, parallel arms. You're going to slide your hands back to your knees and come to stand on your knees. You can stay, if you were using a blanket, you can stay on it. I prefer not having it at this moment. So you're going to send your right foot forward. Walk it just a little bit away. The goal is to have your knee over your ankle or a little bit forward of it. You're going to send your arms out to the side, straight out from your shoulders. You're going to inhale, and then on an exhale, you're going to twist to the right, bringing your left hand on your right knee, sending your right arm back behind you. Find your hand behind you. Look for it. Big, deep twist. Release your left hand, both arms swing all the way around to the other side. Your right arm inside your right leg. Your left arm is behind you. Look for your hand, your left hand. You're going to follow your left hand as it comes all the way up. Look up at it, follow it, and it's going to come down alongside your foot. And you're going to open up, fan open with your right arm. You're going to send your chest back to face the mat, both arms straight out from your shoulders. And you're going to push yourself all the way up. Send your hands back behind you, Yoga Mudra. Send your knuckles to the mat, back bend, just like we did when we were seated. Notice how different it feels. Inhale, and then exhale, come forward to a flat back, stopping at your thigh. Crown of your head is reaching forward. You want to come a little bit slightly inside your right leg. So just get yourself nuzzled in there. You're going to inhale, and then on an exhale, you're going to send your head towards the mat, the crown of your head to the mat. Your Yoga Mudra, your knuckles up to the sky. Or straight back behind you, either way is good. You just want to stretch them away a little bit. Push that front foot into the mat and let your knuckles help you back up. Release your arms, shake them a little bit. Send your right leg back where you found it. And step your left leg forward. Okay. And breathe. Good. Send your arms straight out from your shoulders. You're going to inhale, and then on an exhale, you're going to twist to the left, your right hand on your left knee, and the reason I do that is because I want you to not let your knee splay in. So by holding your knee, you keep it over your ankle, twisting, look at your foot back. That's not a foot, that's a hand. Well, you know, it's a limb. It's you know. Anyway, look back there. Release your right hand, arm straight out, and you're going to swing all the way over for a counter twist. And this time, our hand is inside our leg to, again, keeping that leg from splaying open. Look for your hand. You're going to follow your hand, your right hand, as it reaches all the way up for the sky, as it comes down and lands inside your right leg next to your foot. Your left arm is straight out to the side. And then you'll twist and let your arm come with you. You'll come back to facing the mat, your chest pointed to the mat, arms straight out from your side. You come back up onto your supporting leg. Interlace your fingers back behind you. That baby back bend. Inhale and then exhale, come halfway. You can walk your left foot away if you need a little bit more room inside your leg. Inhale and then exhale. Crown of your head reaches for the mat. Knuckles reach straight back behind you or to the sky. Inhale, push your foot into the mat, come all the way up. All right, and bring your knee back down to the mat. Okay, excellent. All right. I'm going to send your left leg out to the side and walk it away. walk it far away, and straighten it. So you have a choice here. You can twist your foot so that your toes point the same direction as your nose, or that they go in the same direction as your arm, right? Okay. So depending on, and it's your whole leg that rotates when you do that. And depending on your hamstrings and your quads, you may find, or even your calves, you may find one more comfortable than the other. Your left hand is on your leg, right arm alongside your right ear, and you're going to send your fingers down to your ankle or wherever you are comfortable. Looking up at your right hand. So as we go through all these poses, you notice when we look around and we do that, we're releasing our neck. So there is method to our madness, right? And then bring it down. All right. We're going to do that again. Slide your hand down. Only this time you're going to send your right arm so that it's parallel with the mat. And then let your left arm come up to be parallel with your top arm. And then come all the way back up. Place your right hand down on the mat. If you have a block, you can use a block. And your left arm alongside your left ear, your left toes reaching away. And then lift your bottom arm, maybe. And bring it all the way back up. Release your arms, bring your knee back. Okay. And breathe, just breathe. Send your left leg out to the side. So start, right leg out to the side. And so start with your leg at a right angle and then gently walk it away. And here, once again, your toes are either pointed in the direction of your nose or of your arm. Yeah, okay. And on this side, I do it differently. On this side, I keep my toes that way because of a former broken ankle. And bring your right arm, left arm up alongside your left ear as you reach for your ankle or your foot or your shin or whatever you can grab. And then come back up. All right, let's do that again. Right arm, right leg, left arm. This time it comes parallel with the mat, so it's alongside. So you have to make a deeper stretch in your left side body and underneath onto your left, right, the other side too. And then parallel arms. Come back up. Left hand comes down to the mat. Look up at your right hand. Send your right arm alongside your ear. Parallel arms. You have to use your core. And bring it back up. Bring your arms down. Bring your knee down. Okay. Right. Good. So we are going to make our way up to stand. So take your time. Take your time. And when you come, when you're standing, come to your mountain, your Tadasana. You know, how many hundreds of times have you heard it, right? Shoulders over hips, hips over ankles, right? Send your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Let your arms fall comfortably at the side. Bring your belly toward your spine to help lift your torso up a little bit higher. Crown of your head is reaching up to the heavens, feet rooted in the earth. Inhale, sun breath. Exhale, bring that energy to your heart. Inhale, gather all that light and bring it to your heart. Inhale, imagine one with nature, sun, breath, bring it down to your heart. Right. From your mountain, you're going to step back, come on the ball of your right foot and step back. And bring your foot a little bit behind your left foot. Your knees are bent slightly. Right. Bring your arms, so it's like a curtsy. Bring your arms straight up. You're going to take your right wrist with your left hand, and you're going to do a lateral stretch to the left. And let the weight, when you get there, let the weight of your left hand, don't pull, just let the weight of your hand increase the depth of your stretch. Balance. Release, step forward. Come onto the ball of your left foot, step back behind your right. Bend your knees, arms alongside your ears. Take your left hand with your left wrist with your right hand. And then first a lateral stretch to the right, and then let your right arm put weight on that stretch. And release it, step forward. Okay, great. Send your arms out and up. Send your hands into a prayer. Then interlace all but your index fingers. Inhale, and then exhale, crescent to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, behind you. See if you can keep your arms alongside your ears for a more perfect back bend, so that your head stays completely in line with your spine, your curved spine. And then bring it back up. Release your hands. And breathe. So what I'd like to introduce here, we can do our squatting in a moment, but first and I think we may have done this before, so widen your feet, bend your knees. It's a special kind of breath. And we're going to start with the movement of our arms first. So you're going to go the side, up, side, and down. Wait a minute. Side. Well, oh no, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Forward, side, up, down. Forward, side, up, down. Forward, side, up, down. Forward, side, up, down. Forward, and bounce on your knees. Bounce. Up, down. Okay, so now we're going to add breath. Bend your knees. Forward. Forward. Side. ha, 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 ha. Okay, little aerobics, right? And I can't do those kinds of breaths during the pandemic if there were people in the room, so I decided to add that in. So now we're going to work on that squat we talked about before. So if you have a blanket or a pillow, you'll use that, put that down on the mat. And we're going to start first off the mat. And you're going to bend your knees just a little bit and straighten them. Bend them a little bit more and straighten them. Let your hands slide down your thighs as you do this a little bit more, like you're going to come to sit in your chair. All the way down and up. All the way down and up. All the way down and up. Excellent. Okay. So now come so that the blanket or pillow, whatever you have, is behind you. And you want to put your heels on the blanket so that the edge of the blanket is in the arch of your foot. We're going to start with our feet far apart. And you're going to bend now. And you're going to keep coming down just like you did. And let's do that gently and slowly. Gently and slowly. Right. Until you actually come into a squat. Bring your elbows inside your knees to push your knees away. And your hand in a prayer, and push your hands together so that you can straighten your back a little bit. All right. This is called Malasana, the garland. So there's one more thing we can do in Malasana, and then we're going to do it a second time with your feet a little bit closer together, or you can leave them right here, all right, if the being closer doesn't work for you. So in Malasana, and again, you can stay here. Malasana 2, you would send your arms around your shins, your thumbs pointing down, and take hold of your heels. And let your head hang forward. Release your arms, bring your hands to the mat, and push back up. Okay, Malasana. Okay, so we're going to try it again with you could keep your feet right where they were or bring them closer together. It's a little bit more challenging, yeah? And you're going to bend a little bit more, a little bit more. You can go really, really slowly, really, really slowly until you come all the way down to your squat. Elbows inside your knees, hands in prayer into your Malasana 1. On an exhale, bend forward, release your hands, wrap your arms around to take hold of your heels for Malasana 2. Hang your head down. Release your arms, bring your palms to the mat, push up, step off your blanket, and unfold. Okay. So we need to do a lot of squatting, and I realize that I don't think we've ever done a Malasana in this class, and I wanted to introduce it here. Okay. All right. So we're going to do a long vinyasa, a long flow. We'll call it a flow. All right. So you're going to start in tree, in Tadasana, in mountain pose. Inhale, gather. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Send your right leg back behind you. Place your right hand alongside your left foot. Look underneath. Take a look at your back foot. Make sure your hand and your back foot are lined up, that there's space between your foot and your hand. So get your low lunge really centered. Make sure you have your feet firmly on the ground. So the ball of your foot can help to hold you up, right? You don't need to have your heel on the mat. So let's do a twist while we're here. So bring your left hand to your left knee and twist. Bring your belly button to your thigh and then extend your arm. And then bring your hand back down, bring your torso down to face the mat. And you're going to come up onto your fingertips and make sure you have your footing. So if you have to adjust, you're going to do that. And you're going to lift all the way up and come in to your high lunge. Right. Send your arms straight out to the side. Send your arms back behind you, interlace your fingers. If your back foot is causing you some problems throughout this particular sequence, then you can always bring your heel down to the mat. That will help you with your balance. You're going to release your arms. You're going to inhale and you're going to exhale, come forward over your left leg, and you're going to hug it. You're going to hug that leg. You're looking down at the mat, so the crown of your head is facing away from you. Your nose is facing the mat. You're going to inhale, come all the way back up to your high lunge. You're going to exhale, come down and hug your thigh. You're going to inhale and slowly come back up. Right. You're going to bring your arms down by your side. And as you send your arms up, you're going to bend your right knee and then straighten it. Bend and straighten it. Bend it and straighten it one more time. Bend it and straighten it. Bring your arms back behind you, interlace your fingers. We did this when we were on our knees. Inhale, exhale, come forward halfway. Inhale, exhale, come inside your legs. Send your knuckles back behind you or up to the sky, crown of your head to the earth. Release your arms, bring them down to the mat, downward facing dog. And rest here in your dog. Take 5 breaths. You're going to lift your right leg all the way up to the sky. Bend your knee, open up your hip so your right foot is moving towards your left buttock. Your knee is moving towards the sky. And then you're going to send your hips parallel with the mat. Your knee is still bent. And we're going to come to, yes, you guessed it, pigeon. Slide your left leg back behind you. So remember, pigeon is an excellent pose for your back, but only if your hips are square. I can't reach my mat, but you want to pad underneath your right hip if your spine is not nice and straight. And then come down to your reclining pigeon. Then you're going to walk your hands back. Straight arms. You're going to come onto straight arms. Now, what we're going to do now is a twisted pigeon, but there's a special little technique you have to do. You have to send one hand forward, the other hand forward. You're going to fan your right arm all the way up to the sky. You're going to thread it, just like we did very early in class, underneath your right arm. You're going to bring your shoulder to the mat and come down into a twisted pigeon. Or not. You can stay in your reclined pigeon if this does not work for you. Some of you may wish to go a little deeper into this pose, and if you do, that means you will bend your left knee, take your left foot with your right hand, and roll over onto the back of your head and look up at the sky. Or not. Release your foot. Come onto straight arms. Turn under your left toes, lift your left knee away from the mat, and send your right leg all the way back up to the sky for a three-limbed dog. You're going to bend your right knee. You're going to send your foot forward all the way up to the front of the mat, and then step your left foot forward, hang over. Uttanasana, just hang here for a moment. Just fold, nice and folded, nice and deep. And then inhale slowly. I want to come up slowly. Arms out to the side and up, overhead. Bring your hands to your heart. Okay. How's everybody doing? Wave if you're still here with me. Okay, good. That's all I can see. All right. Okay. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up to a flat back. Exhale, fold. Left leg goes back behind you. Check your alignment. You know now from the other side why this is so important. Your left hand is alongside or in line with your right foot. You're going to bring your right hand to your thigh. You're going to twist so that your belly button comes to your thigh. And then you'll extend your hand. You're going to release your arm. You're going to look down at the mat. Come up onto your fingertips to lift your torso away from the mat. And lift your hands and push your feet into the mat to come in to a high lunge. You're going to send your arms straight out to the side. And send them back up. You're going to inhale, and on an exhale, you're going to hug your thigh. Inhale back up to your lunge. Exhale, hug your thigh. Inhale, one last time. And hug. Inhale, come back up. Let your arms come down to the side, down by your side. And then you're going to bend your knee and send your arms up. You're going to straighten your left knee. You're going to bend your left knee. You're going to straighten it. You're going to bend it and straighten it. Once more, bend it and straighten it. Come back to your high lunge. Fix your footing if you need to. Yoga Mudra behind you. Inhale. Exhale, come forward halfway. Inhale, exhale, inside your legs. Release your arms, bring your hands to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Left leg goes up to the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip. Square your pelvis off with the mat, knees bent. Pigeon. Slide your right leg back behind you, even off your hips. Use some padding underneath your hip if you need to. Come down to your reclining pigeon and take a few breaths here. Work your hands under your shoulders, straight arms. So you can go back to your reclining pigeon, beautiful pose. Or you can step your hands one hand length forward. And you can fan open to the right, your right arm. You can inhale, and then on an exhale, you're going to thread your right arm underneath your left. Bring your head to the mat. Twisted pigeon. If you want to go deeper, you're going to bend your right knee, take your right foot with your left hand, and roll over on your shoulder onto the back of your head to look up at the sky, maybe. If you've come to crazy twisted pigeon, then release your foot, unthread your arm. Come back to straight arms. Turn under your right toes, lift your right knee away from the mat, lift your left knee and foot and send it up to the sky for a 3-limb dog. Bend your left knee, step forward. One leg and the other leg, and take as many steps, of course, you know that, as you need to. Hang over. Just let it go. Fly out and up and down the center line. Okay. So we're going to make our way back down to the mat to do a few cooling poses to get us ready for Shavasana. So come on down to the mat any way you like. And come right onto your back. And when you get there, bring the soles of your feet to the mat, lengthen your spine on the mat, and breathe. Bring your knees into your chest and roll from side to side. If you're hugging, let go and send your arms straight out from your shoulders. And now roll again, going as far to the right or left as you roll from side to side. Don't go all the way down because you just want to roll. So you'll notice you're just getting more of your hip in here involved. You're going across the sacrum, you're going from one side to the other. Getting your glutes involved a little bit. And if you send your knees a little bit farther away from you, you'll get more of your tail involved as you go from side to side. Get those glutes really working. And then come back to center with your knees into your chest. And if you need to recenter yourself on your mat, do that. Bring the sole of your feet to the mat. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Bring your left foot into your chest. Take hold of the back of your left thigh. Keep your right foot flexed and your right knee away from you. You can use your right elbow to do that. Let's take a breath here. Then send your left leg straight up to the sky. Flex your foot. Both feet are flexed. And now rotate your foot. Go in both directions and then point and flex, point and flex. Your ankle did a lot of work for you today. Yeah. And then bend your knee again and uncross your legs. And we'll do that on the other side. So left ankle on right thigh. You're going to bring your right leg into your chest, flexed feet. Well, here your left foot is flexed. You're going to push your left knee away from you with your left elbow. And then straighten your right leg, sending your foot to the sky, and here you will flex your foot. So you have two flexed feet here. And then begin to rotate your right foot, both directions, you know yeah, okay. And then bend your knee, uncross it. If you would like to, you can take the blanket or pillow or whatever you happen to have, bring it close to your hips, lift your hips up, slide it underneath you, and bring it below your waist so that your sacrum is lying comfortably on the whatever you're using, the blanket, and then send your legs up to the sky just for a little bit, a few breaths of my favorite ending inversion. Your arms, you can do whatever you like with them. They can be down by your side, out to the side. They're really not involved, so you can send them overhead, whatever feels good. And then bend your knees, bring your feet to the mat, lift your hips, slide anything out that you may have had, and come to your Shavasana. So your legs splayed out to the side, your feet. Your arms rotated so that the palms of your hands are facing upward, fingers curled, your whole back body surrendering to gravity. And follow your breath. And this might be a good time to just notice how your body has changed in this last hour, how you've balanced it, how you have reworked it, how you have grown it, how you have freed it. Om Namah Shivaya. I surrender to transformation and welcome the changes that will lead me to who I am. Take a deep breath, beginning to reawaken your body. Roll your head from side to side. Make gentle movements with your hands and your feet. Send your arms overhead, your feet away from you in the opposite direction for a deep body yawn, big stretch. And then bring your knees into your chest and hug them and roll from side to side. Come back to center and roll over onto whichever side you prefer to come into a fetal position, our rebirth, the beginning of our next cycle. The beginning of our day ahead. And then make your way up to sit. And it's just 11. I know some of you have to leave, but if you wish to stay, we'll go right into a meditation. And it shouldn't be more than 10 to 15 minutes. So get comfortable. If you're staying for this meditation, you may prefer to sit in a chair. If you're sitting in a chair, you want your feet touching the ground. You want your feet connecting to the earth. You want to sit up so that the crown of your head is reaching up. Let your hands come to your thighs, either palms down or up. Your choice. Palm down makes you feel more grounded. Palms up, that you're giving and receiving mudras. You choose what you like. Remember that throughout this meditation, thoughts will inevitably come through your mind. And that's okay. That's what your mind does. It's its job. So when that happens, you can acknowledge them and just say later, and then come back immediately to your breath, to following your breath and coming back. Now, this will be a guided meditation, but I'm going to give you some space in between for some quiet time to yourself. But let's begin by closing our eyes and coming inside. And bring your attention to your heart center. Notice your heartbeat. Take a deep breath, knowing that that breath fuels your heart, initiates that beating, keeps the rhythm flowing. And that with every breath, you replenish every cell in your body, changing for the better, bringing new life with every breath. Notice the changes that occur in your body. Notice the changes with your eyes as you close them, and how different it will be when you open them. Think about how when you see something you haven't seen before, or notice something that was there all along and hadn't seen it before, how it changes your perception. How did I miss that? Where was it? How many times does that happen to you? You see something new that you've never seen before, and it changes your perception. Think about every time you smell something new, a new fragrance, some baked cookies, a cup of coffee, how it changes. How you feel changes your mood, makes you hungry. It changes you. Notice how when you taste a new dish that you've never had before, or maybe it's one you've had a dozen times, but today it tastes a little different, a little spicier, a little different. Your taste has changed. And notice how when you touch something that you haven't before, or when you feel something that you don't think about very often, like the surface of your clothing, the feeling of your clothing on your skin. You don't think about that. How does it feel? The textures that you come in contact with, how they feel. Notice how your body changes. Take a breath and think about a place that you love, outdoors somewhere, with a bright sunshine, perfect weather. How good it feels to have the sun shining on you, how it changes your mood, how you feel close to nature, especially when you look around and touch what's around you. Look at the colors around you. Notice. Notice how good it feels and how it changed from yesterday. Perhaps you're in your garden and notice some of the flowers that have bloomed, how they've changed. Notice the colors of the leaves on the trees, how they're changing right before your eyes. Notice how the special smells of autumn, how the dampness and the foliage brings new, beautiful fragrances. How the earth changes. Now think of someone that you love very, very much. See them. See that person in your mind's eye. Look at them. And allow that feeling of love to fill you up. Feel, what does that feel like when you think of that person? When your heart fills up, it swells. How does it feel? Let your whole body swell with that feeling of love. And keep focused on that feeling, but look at that person once again. And notice how they changed, how they've changed over the years, and how your love has just deepened over that time, how it has changed. And drink in the beauty of that change. Allow it to fill your heart. And bring your attention back to your heart center. and the beating of your heart. And feel any changes that have come to you during this time, during these last few minutes. And deepen your breath. Breathe deeply. And then come to your natural breath. And come back into the room. Bring your chin to your chest. And begin to open your eyes so that as your head lifts, as it comes to a neutral position, your eyes are wide open. Bring your hands to your heart. And let's notice throughout the day all those changes and how good they feel, how they open the door to new possibilities, how they invariably lead to something new. Even if it takes a while, it eventually leads to something wonderful, something satisfying, something joyous. Namaste. Thank you so much.